The night was colder than usual on the alien planet of Veros 9. Tall blue trees stood like silent giants, and a thin silver fog moved slowly across the ground. Every sound echoed, every crack, every whisper, every soft movement of leaves. Evan, a human survivor, walked carefully between the trees. His clothes were torn, his boots were dirty, and his small pack carried only a little food. He was tired, but he could not stop. Dangerous creatures hunted at night, and humans were easy targets for them. Evan had been alone for months. His ship had crashed far from any human colony, and he did not know if anyone was coming to rescue him. So every night, he set simple traps, using wires, sticks, and energy ropes. If the trap caught a small creature, he would have food for one day. If it caught nothing, he would go hungry. Tonight felt different. The forest was too quiet. The fog was too thick. Evan felt something watching him. He checked trap after trap along his usual path. All of them were empty. He sighed. Great. Another hungry night. But before he could turn back, a sharp scream cut through the forest. A scream he had never heard before. It was high-pitched, scared, and full of pain, like a small animal crying, but also like a young girl calling for help. Evan froze. What was that? He slowly reached for his small plasma knife. He moved toward the sound, stepping carefully over wet roots and glowing mushrooms. The scream came again, weaker this time. Something was definitely caught in one of his traps, but the voice, it sounded intelligent. As he neared the trap location, he heard rustling, whimpering, and the soft thump of someone struggling against the energy ropes. Evan lifted his flashlight and pointed it toward the trap. His heart stopped. Inside the trap was not a creature. It was a young alien girl, maybe 12 or 13 years old, with silver blue skin and long glowing hair that fell around her face like shimmering water. Her eyes were large, bright purple, and full of fear. She was shaking violently, trying to crawl away, even though the trap ropes held her ankles. The moment she saw Evan, she screamed louder. No, please, don't eat me. I'm sorry. Please, don't eat me. Evan blinked in shock. Eat you? What? No, I'm not. I don't eat people. But the alien girl didn't understand him. She covered her face and cried harder, trembling like a leaf in the wind. Evan slowly crouched down, keeping distance so she wouldn't panic more. He spoke softly. Hey, I'm not here to hurt you. You're stuck. I can help. The girl peeked at him through her fingers. Her whole body shook as if she expected him to attack at any moment. Her voice cracked. You humans, you catch small aliens and cook them. My people said so. Evan felt like his brain stopped working for a moment. Cook you? Who told you that? He whispered, but she didn't understand his language. She kept crawling back, dragging the trap with her, crying in small bursts. She thought he was a monster. Evan studied her closely. Her clothes were simple, like tribal cloth. A small glowing stone hung around her neck. Her wrists had tiny bracelets made of blue crystals. She looked fragile, scared, and very lost, and way too young to be wandering alone in such a dangerous forest. He raised his hand slowly, palms open. Look, no weapon. I'm not dangerous. The girl flinched anyway. Please, don't eat me. Evan sighed. This is going to be hard. Just then, a deep growl echoed behind him. A growl he recognized, a sound that made the trees go silent. Evan's eyes widened. Oh no! A Graxian wolf-beast. Huge, fast, deadly, and attracted by noise. Attracted by fear, he slowly turned his head. Two glowing yellow eyes stared from the darkness. The beast stepped forward, its long claws digging into the ground, its jaws dripping with steaming saliva. It was 3 times larger than Evan, with dark gray scales and razor-sharp teeth. The alien girl screamed again, believing the beast was Evan's cooking partner. Evan didn't think. He acted. He jumped in front of the alien girl, shielding her with his body. The beast roared, shaking the trees. The girl froze, shocked that a human would protect her. Evan whispered, "Don't move. Stay behind me." The girl stared at him, confused. Why was he protecting her instead of eating her? The beast lowered its head, preparing to pounce. Evan grabbed a sharp stick from the ground. It wasn't a real weapon, but it was better than nothing. The beast lunged. Evan pushed the girl down and rolled sideways, barely dodging the attack. The creature smashed into a tree, its claws tearing the bark. Evan stood up, panting. He shouted at the girl, "Run! Go!" But she couldn't move. She was too scared. The beast turned again, ready to attack a second time. Evan knew he could die tonight. But he refused to let the girl die because of his trap. He positioned himself between her and the monster again. The alien girl's eyes widened. This human was risking his life for her? The beast roared, and the scene froze in a moment of pure terror. The night in the forest had changed everything. Evan didn't know who the girl was, where she came from, or why she thought humans were monsters, but he knew one thing. He had to save her. No matter what. The forest shook with the roar of the huge Graxian beast. Evan held the broken stick tightly and stood between the girl and the monster. His legs were shaking. His breath was sharp. He knew he was weaker, slower, and completely outmatched, but he refused to move aside. Behind him, the alien girl curled into a ball, her crystal bracelets jingling quietly. Her purple eyes were wide with fear, but also something new. Confusion. Why would a human fight a monster for her? The Graxian beast lowered its head again, saliva dripping on the glowing leaves. It hated being interrupted during a hunt. And now Evan was standing right in front of it like a foolish challenge. Evan whispered without turning his head, "When I tell you to run, you run, okay?" The girl didn't answer. She was shaking too hard. The beast charged. Evan dove to the left, swinging the stick across its nose. The stick snapped instantly, but the hit made the beast stumble. It roared, now even angrier. Evan rolled across the ground, dirt covering his clothes. He stood up again, panting. "I really need better weapons," he muttered. The girl watched him with trembling hands. She had expected screams, tears, begging, but not this. Evan kept stepping in front of her like she mattered, like he wanted her safe. The beast circled them, its tail scraping the earth. Its yellow eyes glowed brighter, and the air filled with its hot breath. Evan backed up slowly. "Stay behind me," he said again, but the girl suddenly grabbed his arm with her tiny hand. Her voice cracked. Why are you protecting me? Humans eat small ones like me, don't they?" Evan blinked. "What? No, who told you that?" She flinched. "Our stories. They say humans catch young aliens to cook them alive." Evan sighed loudly. "Your stories are terrible." But before he could explain further, the monster attacked a second time. This time it came with full force, jaws open, claws out. Evan grabbed a sharp stone from the ground and threw it at the beast's eye. It wasn't strong enough to injure it, but it distracted the monster just enough for him to grab the girl. "Hold on!" he shouted. He pulled her into his arms and ran. The girl screamed as he sprinted through glowing bushes, jumping over roots, gasping for breath. The beast roared behind them, crashing through trees like a living tank. Evan's heart thundered. His legs burned. But he kept running. The girl looked up at him while he carried her. Her voice was soft, weak. You are saving me. You really are." Evan didn't look down. "Yes, obviously. Why would I let you die?" She stared at his face, shocked. No one had ever carried her like this. No one had ever risked their life for her. But the beast was still close, too close. Evan saw a narrow, rocky path up ahead. If they reached it, the beast might get stuck. He forced his tired legs to move faster. Almost there. Almost the ground. Shook. The beast leaped over them, landing in front of the path, blocking their escape. Evan skidded to a stop. Seriously? Don't you ever give up? The beast roared, louder than before. Its tail smashed a tree behind them, making leaves fall. Like rain. The girl hid behind Evan again. She whispered, We will die. Evan clenched his jaw. Not if I can help it. The beast charged one last time, but before it reached them, the alien girl's necklace glowed. Bright blue. She gasped as the stone around her neck began to shine like a star. Her hair, her skin, even the ground under her feet glowed with the same blue light. Evan turned around. What is happening? The girl held the glowing stone tightly. Her voice shook. It's my lightstone. Mother said I must never use it. But I must, or we die. The beast stopped mid-charge, confused by the sudden brightness. The lightstone pulsed like a heartbeat. Blue waves of energy rippled outward, pushing the fog away and lighting up the forest. Like a second moon, the beast snarled and stepped back. The light grew stronger. The girl lifted the stone with both hands and shouted in her language. A blast of blue light hit the beast directly in the face. The monster howled and retreated, running blindly into the forest. Evan dropped to his knees, shocked. You can do magic? The girl fell beside him, exhausted. Her small hands shook as she held the dimming stone. It's not magic. It's my tribe's power. But I'm not allowed to use it. Evan frowned. Why not? Because young ones like me can't control it. If we use it too much, we can lose our life energy. Evan's eyes widened. You risked your life to save mine? She looked at him with tired purple eyes. You risked yours first. Silence filled the forest as they both tried to catch their breath. Evan finally spoke softly. Okay, let's get you out of this forest. The girl blinked. You won't hurt me? No, I won't eat you. I won't harm you. I just want you safe. The girl stared at him as if she was seeing a human for the first time, really seeing one. Slowly she whispered her name. My name is Lyra. Evan smiled. I'm Evan. Lyra looked at his hand when he offered it. Hesitant, scared, but trusting. Just a little. She placed her tiny blue hand in his dot, and for the first time, she didn't pull away. The forest was quiet. Again, but not peaceful. The shadows felt heavier. The air felt tense. Evan knew the Graxian beast had run away, but it would return with its pack. They always hunted in groups. He had maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. He held Lyra's small hand firmly as they walked. She followed him slowly, still weak from using her lightstone. Are you okay? Evan asked gently. Lyra nodded, though her steps were shaky. I will be fine. The lightstone takes energy from my body. I feel tired. Evan sighed. Then we must hurry. But Lyra suddenly stopped. She looked back where the beast had run. Her purple eyes glowed faintly in the dark. There is something coming, she whispered. Evan frowned. The beast? No. Something worse. Evan felt a cold shiver run through him. Define worse. Before she could answer, the ground vibrata. Small stones danced on the soil. The vibration grew stronger, like thunder under their feet. Lyra grabbed Evan's arm, her voice trembling. Graxian pack, many, too many. They answered the call of the first one. Evan's face tightened. We need to climb, he said, pointing toward a large tree with thick branches. But Lyra shook her head quickly. No, Graxians climb trees. Better than us. We must go to high ground. Evan scanned the area. There's a rocky ridge ahead. If we reach it, they'll have trouble climbing. Lyra nodded. But the vibration became stronger. Roars echoed from deeper inside the forest. One roar, then another. Then another. Evan grabbed her hand tightly. Run! They ran over roots, through glowing plants, across wet soil. Lyra stumbled twice, but Evan lifted her without stopping. Behind them, the forest exploded with movement. Trees shook, leaves fell, branches snapped. The Graxian pack was coming, fast. Lyra glanced back and screamed. 6 large shapes moved between the trees, glowing eyes, sharp claws, massive jaws. "Evan, they are close. I know," he shouted, trying to breathe. He pulled her into his arms again and ran faster. But the beasts were too fast. One jumped onto a fallen log and roared, its voice piercing the night. Evan reached the rocky ridge, a steep rise covered in stones and moss. "Go! Climb!" he yelled. Lyra climbed quickly despite her weak body. Evan followed behind her, pushing himself up with trembling arms. The first Graxian reached the base of the ridge and leapt upward. Evan swung a loose stone into its face. The beast fell back, but not far. It jumped again. Its claws scraped the rocks just below Evan's boots. Lyra looked down, eyes full of fear. "Evan, it will catch you. Keep climbing," he shouted. The second beast reached the rock, then the third, then the fourth. Evan climbed as fast as he could. Lyra reached the top. Evan was halfway. The first beast lunged again. Its jaws snapped only inches from Evan's foot. Lyra cried out, "Evan, take my hand." Evan didn't look. He kept climbing, but the highest beast made a huge jump. Too high. It grabbed Evan's ankle. Evan gasped as he slipped. The world tilted. He felt himself falling backward toward the pack. Lyra screamed, without thinking. She reached down and grabbed his wrist with both hands. She was small, weak, exhausted, but her lightstone glowed faintly, giving her a moment of strength. "Hold on, Evan. I won't let you fall." The beast yanked his ankle downward. Lyra pulled his arm upward. Evan felt like he was being torn in half. The ridge shook. Stones rolled down. But then, a huge piece of the rock broke loose under the beast's claws. The beast fell backward, crashing into the others. Evan used the moment to climb up the final few steps. He reached the top and collapsed beside Lyra, breathing hard. Lyra hugged him tightly, trembling all over. "Evan, I thought you would fall." Evan hugged her back equally. Shaken. "Me too. But you didn't let go." The Graxians circled below the ridge, roaring angrily. They clawed at the rock but couldn't climb this part. It was too steep, too smooth. Evan sat up slowly. "We're safe, for now." Lyra didn't release his hand. Her voice was small. "Evan, why do humans care so much? Why did you save me again?" Evan looked at her gently. "Because saving someone is the right thing to do. You're just a kid, Lyra. I couldn't leave you." No one in Lyra's tribe had ever said that to her. She blinked, confused by kindness. Then, suddenly, a distant metallic sound echoed across the ridge. A humming noise. A vibration in the air, like engines. Lyra's eyes widened. "Oh no, my tribe. They are coming." Evan stiffened. "Your tribe? Is that good news or bad news?" Lyra hesitated. "They think humans are monsters. They will think you captured me. They will attack first, ask questions later." Evan rubbed his face. "Of course they will." The sound got louder. A bright blue light appeared in the sky. A flying skimmer, an alien patrol craft. Lyra grabbed Evan's shirt. "Evan, hide. If they see you, they will kill you." Evan looked at the edge of the ridge. The Graxians waited. There, ready to leap if he tried to climb down. In front of him, alien soldiers. Approaching. He was trapped. Lyra stepped in front of him boldly, her tiny body trembling, but her voice strong. "I won't let them hurt you." Evan stared at her in shock. The little alien girl he accidentally trapped was now willing to fight her own people to save him. Blue lights cut through the fog as the alien patrol craft descended above the ridge. Wind blasted across the rocks. blowing Lyra's glowing hair back like a silver flame. Evan shielded his eyes from the bright beams. From the craft came 3 tall alien soldiers, armored, armed, and clearly angry. Their armor reflected the blue searchlights, and long crystal spears hummed with energy. The moment they saw Lyra, they shouted in their language. Lyra panicked. "They think I'm hurt. They think you harmed me." Evan raised both hands slowly. "Tell them I didn't. Tell them I'm not a threat." But Lyra was already trembling, not from fear of Evan, but fear of her own tribe. The soldiers jumped down the ridge easily, their boots gripping the rock. They landed with loud thuds, surrounding Evan within seconds. One soldier stepped forward, taller than the others. With sharp glowing eyes, he pointed his spear at Evan's chest. In a deep voice, he growled something to Lyra. Lyra swallowed. "Hard," he said. "Step away from the human child. He is a danger. He trapped you." Evan's heart dropped. "So they don't want to talk? Just kill me?" Lyra shook her head quickly. "No, I will explain." She ran in front of Evan, spreading her arms to protect him. The soldiers froze. The tallest one yelled something harsh. Lyra replied in quick, trembling words. Her voice cracked many times as she tried to explain everything at once. The trap, the beast, the chase, Evan's protection. But the soldiers narrowed their eyes. Their leader growled something again, louder, angrier. Lyra's voice weakened. "He says you used me as bait to escape the beasts. He says humans always lie." Evan felt frustration burning in his chest. "I saved her. Why would I lie?" But the soldiers didn't understand human speech. They only heard noise. The leader lifted his spear again. Lyra cried out, her tiny voice shaking. "Eno, stop. He protected me." But the soldier pushed her aside with his arm, not hurting her, but moving her out of the way. Evan stepped back toward the cliff edge. Below, the Graxians still waited, hungry, growling. He was trapped from both sides. The tallest soldier spoke one more time. Lyra translated, tears filling her eyes. He says, "I must step aside. They will remove you quickly. Before you harm anyone else." Evan let out a long breath. "So that's it. They're going to kill me." Lyra shook her head violently. "No, I won't allow it." She stood in front of Evan again, hands shaking but eyes fiercely bright. The soldiers looked shocked. Their own child defending a human? The leader barked an order. 2 soldiers grabbed Lyra's arms. She struggled, kicking and yelling. "No. Let me go. I have to protect him." She turned toward Evan desperately. "Evan, do something. Move, hide." But Evan couldn't move. Behind him, a deadly drop into a pack of beasts. In front of him, crystal spears glowing with fatal energy. He whispered, "It's okay, Lyra. I'll be fine." She screamed, "No. Don't say that. You're lying. Humans lie when they're scared." Evan forced a small smile. "Not this human." The leader walked toward Evan, raising his spear. Lyra cried harder. "Stop if you hurt him. I'll tell Mother what happened. I'll tell the council." The soldiers froze again. The leader said something quietly. The others grew nervous. Lyra whispered to Evan. He said, "My mother is a high elder. If I say you saved me, they must listen." Suddenly, everything changed. The soldiers stepped back a little. They looked at Lyra, then at Evan, then at each other. The leader lowered his spear slightly. Lyra stepped forward, tears falling down her cheeks. She placed her hand on Evan's sleeve gently, like asking for permission to speak for him. Then she turned to her tribe's soldiers and spoke with surprising strength. "He saved me," she said firmly in her language. "He protected me from the beasts. He carried me. He didn't hurt me. If he wanted to eat me, he had many chances." The soldiers stared at her silently. Then she added one more sentence. "He risked his life for mine." Something shifted in the air. The soldiers lowered their weapons slowly. Evan let out a quiet breath. But the danger wasn't over yet. Suddenly Dasha. Howl echoed from below the ridge. The Graxian pack roared again. Their glowing eyes rose from the shadows. The pack was climbing up the cliffside, using each other's bodies as steps. Evan's blood ran cold. They're coming up. The soldiers looked down and cursed loudly. One of them shouted at the pilot of the skimmer. The craft moved closer, lowering a glowing energy ladder. The leader yelled at Lyra, gesturing at the ladder. Lyra shook her head. She pointed at Evan. The leader hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. Lyra grabbed Evan's arm. Let's go, quickly. Evan climbed. The ladder with Lyra closed behind him. The soldiers followed, below them. The Graxians reached the ridge, snapping their jaws hungrily. But the craft rose into the air just in time. Lyra held Evan's arm tightly, breathing fast. The soldiers stared at Evan in silence, the first human they had ever allowed aboard their ship. The leader spoke quietly to Lyra. She translated for Evan, her voice calm but still shaking. He says, "You are coming with us. The council must hear your story. They will decide your fate." Evan swallowed hard. Great, from beasts trying to eat me, to aliens deciding if I live or die. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. "I will speak for you." Her voice softened. "I won't let anything happen to you." And for the first time, Evan believed her. The alien patrol craft flew smoothly above the glowing forest, but inside the ship, the air was heavy with tension. Evan sat on the metal floor, wrists resting on his knees, breathing slowly. He didn't have handcuffs, but the soldiers stood around him like silent walls. Across from him, Lyra sat close, refusing to leave his side. Her small blue fingers held onto Evan's sleeve tightly, like she feared someone would take him away. Soldiers whispered in their language. Their glowing helmets reflected Lyra's trembling face. One soldier stepped closer and pointed at Evan again, saying something sharp. Lyra immediately stood between them. Her voice shook with anger. "He said you might still be dangerous. He said you used tricks to confuse me." Evan sighed. "I didn't do anything to confuse you." Lyra nodded. "I know, I believe you." But the soldiers did not. They stared at him with suspicion, watching every move he made. Evan looked around the craft. It was small, built for fast travel, not comfort. Blue lights glowed across the walls. Energy screens flickered with alien symbols. The soldiers were tall, strong, and fully armed. And then there was him, one human with torn clothes and a pocket knife. He looked hopelessly weak compared to them. Lyra noticed his quiet fear and whispered, "Do not worry, my tribe listens. To my mother. She is wise. She will believe me." Evan forced a small smile. "I hope so." But a sudden jolt shook the entire craft. The pilot shouted something alarming. Lyra's eyes widened. "Mother is not the only one waiting." Evan frowned. "What do you mean?" Lyra's voice dropped to a nervous whisper. "The Council of Elders is there too, and they fear humans more than anyone." The ship descended toward a large circular platform made of glowing stone. Dozens of aliens were already waiting. Elders, warriors, healers, and guards with long energy spears. Evan's heart thumped painfully. That is a lot of people. The ship landed with a soft hum. The moment the doors opened, 20 alien guards pointed their weapons directly at Evan. "Wow," Evan muttered. "That's friendly." The tall soldier who had led the group earlier gave a command. The guards marched forward, surrounding Evan as if he was a dangerous monster. Lyra gasped and ran in front of him again, her small arms spread wide. "Stop! Stop pointing weapons at him." The guards hesitated, but did not lower their spears. Evan stood still, hands up. "Lyra, it's okay. No." She shouted, eyes bright with anger. "It is not okay. He saved me, twice." Her voice echoed across the platform. The elders stepped forward, tall, elegant aliens with long glowing robes. Their leader, Elder Malin, stared at Lyra with deep concern. "Child," he said in a calm but firm voice. Lyra translated softly for Evan. "You are confused. The human trapped you." "He used you." Lyra shook her head violently. "No. He didn't. He helped me escape the Graxian pack. He protected me when I fell. He carried me." The elders murmured in doubt. Evan whispered to himself, "Great. They don't believe anything." Another elder pointed her glowing staff toward him. "This human," she said, "is unpredictable. Dangerous. Humans are destroyers." Lyra screamed, "He's not." The elders stepped back, surprised by her anger. Lyra walked forward, her small voice trembling but full of courage. She placed her hand on her chest. "We tell stories about humans. Stories that say they hunt us. Stories that say they eat us." Evan sighed. "Seriously, that story again?" Lyra ignored him and continued speaking to the council. "But those stories are lies. He did not hurt me. He did not try to eat me. He saved me from monsters." She pointed toward Evan, her voice breaking. "If he wanted to harm me, I would be dead already." Evan froze. Her words hit him deeply. Lyra stepped closer to the elders, tears forming. "You call him dangerous? But he risked his life again and again, for me." The elders fell silent. Some guards lowered their spears slightly, but Elder Malin remained stern. He looked at Evan with cold eyes. "Why?" he asked. "Why would a human save an alien child?" Lyra turned to Evan quickly. "Answer him, please tell them." Evan swallowed hard and stepped forward. He spoke slowly, choosing simple words Lyra could translate. "I saved her because she needed help." Lyra translated quietly. Elder Malin frowned. "That is all? No reason?" Evan nodded. "That is what humans do. We help, even when we are scared. Even when we are hungry. Even when we're alone." Another elder asked, "But why her?" Evan stared at Lyra, the small alien girl who thought humans were monsters, but now held his sleeve like he was her only hope. "Because she is just a kid," Evan said softly. "She deserves to live. She deserves safety. She deserves someone to protect her." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. The elders whispered to each other, this time not with anger, but confusion and curiosity. Elder Malin raised his hand, calling for silence. He spoke one final time. "The council will decide soon, but the child may speak freely." Lyra stepped in front of Evan, voice firm and strong. "Then hear my words," she said. She lifted her glowing lightstone. The blue light shined across the platform. "I choose to defend the human. I choose to stand with him." Gasps echoed everywhere. Evan stared at her, shocked. The soldiers stared at her. The elders stared at her. No alien child had ever taken a public stance for a human ever, but Lyra stood tall, a tiny girl, with a giant heart. The council chamber was silent. Lyra's brave declaration still echoed in the air, and no one dared to breathe loudly. Evan stood close to her, his hands slightly shaking. He had faced beasts, traps, and hunger, but nothing was scarier than this moment, an entire alien tribe deciding his fate. Elder Malin finally broke the silence. "Child, step forward." Lyra squeezed Evan's hand before walking toward the center. Her small footsteps echoed against the glowing floor, her lightstone dim but still alive. Malin spoke slowly, his deep voice trembling with something between fear and respect. "You claim this human protected you. You claim he risked his life for a stranger. But there is something you do not understand." Lyra frowned. "What do you mean?" The elder lifted a long blue crystal rod. It projected a shimmering image into the air. Evan saw stars, planets, ships, battles. Lyra gasped softly. "This is Our history, Malin nodded. Yes, but the true history. Not the one children learn. Evan stepped forward slightly, unsure if he should speak. Lyra held his arm again, promising. Silently that she was with him, Malin pointed at the projection. A large human warship appeared, gray, powerful, terrifying. That ship, he said, is from the first human expansion. 100 years ago. Evan's eyes narrowed. Our history says nothing about this. The elder looked at him sadly, because your people erased it. He waved his staff and the image shifted. Evan saw alien villages burning, forests destroyed, families running, and human soldiers walking among them. Lyra's voice broke. That cannot be true, Malin sighed. Humans invaded this planet a century ago. They hunted us. They took our resources. They forced us into hiding. Many tribes were erased from existence. Evan felt a cold, heavy weight in his chest. He whispered, "No, that can't be. Humanity would never." But Malin raised his hand. "Do not defend what you do not remember." The image flickered again. We fled deeper into the forests. We swore to fear humans. We swore to hide from them. That is why our stories say humans eat us. Because fear keeps children away from your kind. The words hit Evan like a punch. Lyra trembled. So the stories were based on real fear, not just lies. Malin nodded. But, he continued, we survived. And time passed. Humans disappeared from this planet. Until, he looked straight at Evan, your crash. Evan swallowed hard. So that's why everyone is scared. Yes, you are. The first human seen in generations. Lyra stepped protectively in front of Evan again. But this human is not like those soldiers. He is kind. He is gentle. Malin studied her face. Perhaps. But if he is good, others may come. And what? If others are not like him, what then? Another elder stepped forward, whispering, "A single kind human cannot erase history." Evan felt hopeless. This wasn't just about him. This was about an old wound between two species. He whispered, "Then what do you want from me?" "I can't change the past." Malin stared at him for a long moment. "You can change the future." The entire room went silent. Lyra's eyes widened. What do you mean?" Malin lowered his staff. "There's a greater danger coming. Something worse than humans, something older." Evan frowned. "What danger?" Lyra looked uneasy. She whispered, "Malin never speaks like this, unless it is serious." The elder touched a crystal on the ground. A new image appeared, a massive shadow moving beneath the forests. Huge, alive, ancient. Evan felt the air grow colder. Malin spoke softly. "The Graxian beasts. They were not hunting for food." Evan froze. "Then why were they chasing us?" Malin's face darkened. "They were running from something." Lyra gasped. "No. The ancient creature called Vorath, the Earth Eater," Malin said. "It wakes once every century, and it devours everything." Evan felt a chill go down his spine. "And you're saying it woke up now?" Malin nodded. Double quotes, "Yes. And when it wakes, it destroys the land, the forests, the tribes. Nothing stops it." Evan stepped forward. "So what do you want me to do?" "I'm just one man." Malin pointed at Lyra's lightstone. "Because of her power, and because of your actions, the lightstone reacted. It awakened a bond." Lyra blinked. "A bond?" "Yes," Malin said. "The lightstone chooses only once every era. A protector, a guardian." He turned to Evan. "And it chose you." The room erupted in whispers. Evan froze completely. "Me? I didn't do anything. I just saved a kid." Malin's voice was calm. "And that is why it chose you." Lyra looked at Evan with awe. "You're my guardian?" Evan could barely breathe. I didn't ask for this." Malin's eyes glowed. "No one asks. The stone decides, and it sees what we do not. Evan shook his head. I can't fight a giant ancient monster. I don't have weapons, armor, nothing. Malin stepped forward, placing a hand on Evan's shoulder. You have courage. That is more powerful than any weapon. Lyra held Evan's sleeve again, whispering gently, You saved me. You can save others too. Evan swallowed hard. Vorath. An ancient planet-killing creature. The Lightstone. A chosen guardian. A human hated for old sins, now needed for a new threat. He whispered, What do you want me to do? Malin answered softly, View the awakening of Vorath, and choose if you will stand with us. Lyra squeezed his hand. Please, don't leave me alone. We need you. Evan breathed slowly, and not a dot the ground trembled long before Evan saw anything. The alien elders, the soldiers, and even the children of the tribe stepped outside their crystal-built homes as the earth shook again, and again. And again, a deep rumble rolled across the forest like thunder. Leaves fell. Branches cracked. The sky turned a strange red-purple color. Lyra stood beside Evan, clutching his sleeve with both hands. Vorath is waking, she whispered. Evan felt his heart thumping faster. I was hoping that was a bad dream. But it wasn't. A distant roar echoed across the horizon. Long, ancient, and full of hunger. Elder Malin pointed his staff at the forest. Look, he said, Dot, and then it appeared. A giant shape rose. From the trees, bigger than mountains, covered in ancient rock-like scales that glowed with red cracks. Its eyes burned like molten fire. Shadows wrapped around its body like smoke. Vorath. The Earth Eater, the monster that destroyed whole lands. Evan felt every instinct screaming at him. Run, hide, escape. But he didn't move. Lyra tugged his hand gently. Evan, I'm scared. He knelt beside her, trying to hide his own fear. I'm scared too, he admitted. But we'll face this together. Okay, she nodded, tears in her glowing purple eyes. The ground split open in the distance. Vorath's massive claws tore through the soil. The creature roared again, shaking the air. Trees burst into flames around it. The alien soldiers formed defensive lines with energy shields. The elders began chanting spells. Children were rushed into crystal shelters. Through the chaos, Malin walked to Evan. The Lightstone chose you, he said. Now it will awaken its full power. Evan shook his head. But I don't know how to use alien magic. Malin lifted Lyra's Lightstone from around her neck. Lyra gasped. My Lightstone. It will return to you, Malin said softly, but it must awaken first. Through him. The elder placed the glowing stone in Evan's hands. The moment it touched his skin, shockwave blasted through the ground. Light exploded around him in bright blue streams. The whole tribe gasped. Lyra covered her mouth with both hands. Evan cried out, the Lightstone's energy surging through his arms, chest, veins. His eyes flashed blue. His heartbeat sensed with the glowing crystal. Malin stepped back. The Guardian awakens. Evan stood slowly. His entire body shimmered with blue energy. Light swirled around him, forming protective armor made of pure energy. Transparent, glowing, powerful. He looked at Lyra. Her eyes widened. You look like a hero from our legends. Evan smiled slightly. Let's hope I act like one. Vorath roared again, stepping closer. Its shadow swallowed the entire valley. The soldiers attacked first, firing energy bolts. The attack struck Vorath, but did nothing. Its scales were too thick. Too ancient. Evan stepped forward. Tell your people to fall back, he yelled. Malin raised his staff and shouted orders. The soldiers retreated. Evan stared up at the massive monster. Lyra ran to his side. You don't have to do this alone, she cried. Maybe not, Evan said softly. but I was chosen for a reason. He placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. You gave me this chance, Lyra. Trust me. Her lips trembled. I trust you. Evan turned toward Vorith and ran. With every step, the Lightstone's power pulsed brighter. Blue trails of light followed his movements. When he jumped, he soared into the air, higher than any human should jump. Vorith noticed him. The ancient beast snapped its massive jaws, unleashing a wave of burning air. Evan crossed his arms instinctively. A glowing shield formed instantly. Absorbing the attack, he launched forward, punching the monster's eye. A shockwave exploded. Vorith staggered back for the first time in centuries. The alien tribe gasped. Lyra whispered proudly, he can fight it. He really can. But Vorith recovered quickly. It slammed a claw down toward Evan. He dodged, rolling across the burning ground. The Lightstone armor flickered, the energy draining. Come on, Evan muttered. Not now. Vorith gathered energy, its chest glowing red. It was preparing a death blast. Evan tried to stand, but the armor weakened. That blast will destroy the whole valley. Malin shouted. Lyra's heart pounded. Without thinking, she ran toward Evan. Lyra, no! Evan yelled, but she kept running. Her Lightstone bond glowed again, brighter than before. She reached him just as Vorith unleashed the blast. Lyra grabbed Evan's hand. The Lightstone flared and a massive blue barrier erupted around them. The death blast struck. Everything went white. When the light faded, the valley was silent.